Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity. I always say to make money in the market or to learn from the market. And keep in mind, we have some economic data coming out today. So today's going to be an interesting day. And if you get your entries right, today could be a very profitable day. Let's say that. But y'all, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues. This video is for educational purposes only, y'all. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX right now. And to me, everything seemed to be going sideways because they're waiting on that information to come out. And it can take us in either direction, to the upside or to the downside. So let's see where we are. Right now, the VIX is finding support on this 200 EMA on the 30-minute chart, which is right here at the 1502. Now, if we bounce here and move back to the upside, then we still have trouble place. I always ask, where am I going to have trouble? Our 5 EMA right here is slightly above that, at 512, right? So the gathering spot that was created for us, which is the consolidation area, we're going to use that as our strong support and strong resistance, right? Because that's where it's been moving, sideways. Although with that information coming out, anything is possible. It could just, disregard all of this, right? So the support level that I have marked for the VIX is at 1517, and the resistance is right here at 1529. So the VIX has been trading within this zone. If it decides to go to the upside, which will in turn bring the SPY to the downside normally, then the 20 EMA, which is right here at the 1529, plus the 50 EMA, which is right here at the 1542, all of those are trouble places, right? So we could find support here and go to the upside. That is a possibility. The ATR trailing stop for the VIX is at 1569. So we could very well, bounce here and move back up. If this is going to form a hammer, be it red or green, it could take us back to the upside, meaning the stocks could very well come to the downside. So to the downside, if we break the level of where we are now, 1416 is support, which is the 200 EMA on the 1 hour chart. We could very well come down to that, or we can come all the way back to the 1463, the 1430, which is the ATR trailing stop, and I always say that's strong support or resistance, or the 1413, which is the 200 EMA on the 4 hour chart. So looking at this, we can go in either direction, and I always say trade what you see. Make sure your entries are based on confirmation of, I see one thing and then I'm seeing something else, and this is, a better chance or probability, let's say that. And let's go to the SPY and see what we see with the SPY today, because the SPY has been trading. This is the 30-minute chart, and ever since, let's see, 4/9, the SPY has been just trading in this zone. And today it's doing the exact same thing. It created a gathering spot for us in the same area. So I have support for the SPY right now at 519.63 and resistance at 520.20. And if we try to break above that, and it seems to like we're coming back to this area, but right now the 5 EMA is our support, which is at 520.05. If we break that to the downside, then the next level of support is right here, and all within this range, right at the 519.84. So again, I always ask, where am I going to have trouble? And it looks as if, looking at this 30-minute chart, if we break below the 519.63, then it could come down and test the 519.44 or the 518.92, 518.92, which is right here at this ATR trail and stop, very close to it here at the 518.79. So that's something to be mindful of if you trade the SPY. We could very well break out of this area and find support to the downside here. I can't say I have a signal right now, because I know that we have information that's about to come out, but I do see that to the downside, that 519 is going to be strong support here based on this 1 hour chart. 519.05, 519.07, that's going to be the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, and again that's on the 1 hour. So the SPY seems like it has a lot of support to the downside. A lot of support that could give us a bounce back to the upside. Again, everybody and everything is waiting on this economic data to come out. So if you trade the SPY, I would definitely keep a watch on that 519.63 to 520.20, because again, anything is possible in this market. And as you can see, everything is waiting. Everything is in waiting mode. Let's say that. So let's go to Tesla. That Tesla is interesting as always, right? So Tesla, I have the levels for our gathering spot marked at 117.17 as the support and 178.10 as the resistance. And as you can see, we've been trading in this zone for, a while. And the 5 EMA was support for us, which would have been, right here at the 177.76 area, which is still within that zone. So if Tesla decides to break to the downside, if it breaks under the 177.16, I gotta get my numbers right this morning. So if Tesla breaks below the 177.16, it could very well continue down to find support at this 175 range, which is at the ATR trailing stop and the 50 EMA on this 30-minute chart. However, I had the 174.51 mark yesterday as a level of support, so we could very well come down to that area. Tesla normally moves almost $8 per day for the ATR, so anything is possible with Tesla. Again, everything is waiting on this economic data. I would say trade carefully today, trade cautiously, and don't ever say the market is going to do this, because sometimes it's going to show you that no, it's going to do the opposite. I always say trade what you see. It's interesting that Mara is an inside day candle today, meaning it is moving sideways. And I'll give you the breakout targets for if Mara breaks above the 1855, then the target to the upside is 1973. And if it breaks to the downside, 1762, then the target is right there, which is really, really close. The target to the downside is right here at the 1760. So it looks as if, Mara is trading. It normally trades with Bitcoin. It normally does. Sometimes it gets off a little, but it seems to be going sideways. It is an inside day. So right now, the support that I have marked for Mara is at 1788. And that's in the gathering spot, right? And the resistance is at 1810. So if we break those levels, then we could very well, it could give us a decent move in either direction. We just have to be careful to trade what we see. So I'm going to go to Nvda this morning and see. Again, Nvda is interesting. Again, there was a gap that needed to be filled, and it hasn't filled it completely. The white lines here is what I was looking at. We came down and tried to fill it here, but it didn't completely close the gap. So again, in my opinion, Nvda still has a gap to the downside that needs to be filled. It's been trading sideways for a while, so I do have the gathering spot marked at 844.96. And that's the support, and the resistance at 849.67. It could very well trade in this range, or it could break to the upside or to the downside. I always say that. So where are our trouble places? To the upside, 856 and 850.848 is our resistance moving to the upside. And the 200 EMA is at 875.84. So we could very well pop, and it looks like we're trying to get a little pop here. That's interesting to see. So, right, this 20 EMA is our resistance. You see how it tested that and came back down, back to the gathering spot. So it's so important that, we mark those areas as, for the gathering spot. Let me say that it seems like we've already got some information. Yes. So I saw when it came down, and you see how the SPY is dropping. Things are just declining based on that information that just came out. But again, I always say anything is possible in the market, but we are definitely declining. So today is going to be an interesting day. I always say trade what you see. Be careful, watch your levels, don't jump into your trades. And just because we had this long drop down here does not mean that, it can't find support and go back to the upside. It is a big drop. And let's see where the VIX is. See how the VIX moved. When I look at the SPY, I try to see, what's going on with the VIX. The VIX came up to that ATR trail and stop, and then it came, Is it going to continue to the upside? So I again trade carefully today, trade cautiously today. Be careful, be mindful of your trades, and know that anything is possible, anything can change. I need to see where Tesla is because Tesla, that is not, I that doesn't surprise me with Tesla because of how it was trading. So yeah, so it seemed like we have some type of direction. So again, I always say trade carefully, trade cautiously, trade what you see, and don't rush into your trades. But if you get in, mark your gathering spots or your consolidation areas and trade the breakouts. Or once it break out of that area, look for other confirmations like your MACD crossing or your 5 and 50 crossing, higher highs, higher lows. Make sure you have another confirmation as to why you're entering this trade or your reason for entering the trade. So y'all, I hope this is very, very helpful. Again, I'm super, super excited for, it's a new day, another opportunity. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I hope that everyone have a very profitable day today. Yes, thank you. Again, enjoy your day. Until next time, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.